welcome. As everyone here is enjoying their dessert, I would like to welcome in our streaming audience. And so, we are here at the Hyatt Regency in the Bellevue Room doing something we've never done before. We are having a live event in person here at the Hyatt, and now we are welcoming in, hopefully, many streaming guests via Facebook Live or YouTube Live. And so maybe those of us that are inside, let's give a round of applause to our streaming guests who have joined us. I mentioned this was kind of a history-making night. Last year we did the first ever virtual event in YFC history. Tonight we're doing the first ever hybrid event where we have an in-person event, and then we also have a streaming event. Next year we've got big plans, and I don't know if I should be saying this right now, but we've actually been in discussions with Jeff Bezos and with Elon Musk, and next year we're going to do a small banquet on the moon. We're going to stream it back here to Seattle and then stream it out to everybody at their homes. It's going to be really exciting. You guys are too invested in your desserts to really hear me right now, but that's fine. The streaming audience heard that, and they're excited about Lunar City Life, that program that we're starting up. So I've already done some thank yous here, but now that our streaming audience is joining us, I want to be sure to do some thank yous again. This event, the presenting sponsors of this event are Capstone Home Loans and Jeff Judy, and then Bickford Ford and Mike Bickford. We are so grateful for those two businesses and their sponsorship. So Mike Bickford, we know that you're joining us. We are so glad to have you join us. Yeah, we can give Mike Bickford an applause, sure. Those of us that are here at the Hyatt, we're enjoying a dessert dash that was sponsored by Snohomish Storage, and so we're grateful for their support. And then Trutina Financial was another supporter that we wanted to be sure to shout out. So we are ready to get started with our formal program. I hope those of you that are eating your desserts continue to enjoy them throughout the evening. But we ourselves have a really great program that we've put together for you tonight that I am super excited about. When we as a staff kind of met to brainstorm this event, one word kind of came up as the word that we wanted to focus on, and that was the word hope. That we wanted tonight to be an evening of hope. But as we got to talking about that, we were realizing that there is kind of a journey to get to hope. That hope is not something that just materializes out of thin air. That hope often includes a lot of other things, a lot of struggle and heartbreak and resilience and all kinds of different things. And so we are going to kind of unfold that journey in 4 acts tonight that I think will be very apparent. But rather than me explain what those 4 elements are, I'm going to turn it over to 2 of our wonderful City Life directors who are going to read some scripture for us. So, ladies, you can take it from here. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vasti Garcia, and I am the Bellevue site director. And with me is...
My name is Yuritsa Galicia. I also go by Ritz, and I'm the Monroe City Life director.
We're so glad to be here. And tonight we're going to be reading off a scripture from Romans chapter 5. And it says, "We boast in the hope of the glory of God. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings.
Because we know that suffering produces perseverance.
And perseverance produces character.
And character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint, because the love of God has been poured out in our hearts through the Holy Spirit, who God has given to us."
Thank you.
Thank you.
Suffering. When it calls, not many answer. Afraid of what's on the other end, But some of us long for the privilege of choice, to ignore, but because of this alarming call, we have no choice but to answer suffer's ring. A call we long to ignore, but we pick up where others dropped it. But there's something different about this call. The voice on the other end encourages me to hold on. Hold, please. And while holding, I hear another voice on the line, a voice like that of Peter, and begins to encourage me, further reminding me that when I do good and suffer and take it with patience, God commends me. You see, suffering is like living 12 years with the same issue under the hands of those who only cause more damage than help. Suffering to be free. Wait. Star, you see, I thought this suffering was all, but now, see, I can't give up, y'all. It's like I'm committed. Yes, commitment. Like a ring, a vow, I keep suffer's ring on. And on and on and on, and through sickness and health, and it seems that death is seeming to do its part. And I'm convinced, as suffering rounds me, that the suffering of this present time is not worthy to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed in us. You see, I myself, along with many others, have spent many years on this line, this busy line, in this line, waiting for time, a long time of suffering, long suffering to end. And from time to time, I find this dying useless, but then again, I'm convinced that in the end, I will be content by what this suffering produces. My name is Mike Davis. Thank you. Thank you over there, table 5. No. My name is Mike Davis, and I have the privilege of being the ministry director of South Seattle Culture. Let's go. Yes. And just a little bit about culture before I introduce the next piece. We have been, I think, in Seattle, South Seattle, for about 3 years now, and doing work in that community. And we've seen God do a lot of amazing things through Cultured. We use a lot of performing arts as our base to reach out to young people, so that's why they think we're cool, because we like music and we can, well, I can't dance anymore, but Miss Shafan, who you will hear from later, dances. But we love the arts, and we use the arts as a tool for God to write in on hip-hop or dance or any type of form of music that our young people like, and they engage our programming. And so you're about to hear from one of our young people here in a little bit through a video. His name is Che, and I met Che about maybe 7 years ago at our other site. And ever since then, Che has been a part of our family. And I love this young man with all my heart, and I would love for you to hear his story. Thank you.
My name is Che. I'm in 12th grade. I'm a football player at Cleveland High School. Union Gospel Mission. They've helped me through a lot for a very long time, ever since I was a little kid. Unfortunately, the UGM has shut down, but everybody within the UGM has kept a connection with each other. And yeah, so I've been here for a while. Some difficulties that I've gone through are money problems, loss, family members, friends, through COVID, or not only through COVID, but from, gang violence, shootings. I watched my own cousin get shot in his head, from gun violence, and it's been a lot. Mixed emotions, sometimes, you don't feel good about it at all. You just want to sit in your bed, not doing anything at all, unmotivated. But sometimes you feel like you could be doing something better than just slouching all day and actually work through it. Depression's a real thing. There are days where if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to take a shower. I literally did not want to eat. It's not that I didn't want to eat. I didn't feel like I was able to in ways. I was sick to my stomach every time I ate. I throw it back up. But how to cope with it is one thing. We see different things every day. It's never gonna be the same for anybody. you will never be able to be directly in my shoes, you know. So, you know, with the killing of, you know, my cousins or just friends going through that situation, you can't go to sleep. It's constantly on your mind, you know. You don't want to cry, but you gotta let out some type of tears at the end of the day, because, you know, that's all just gonna bottle up and if not be worse than what it was made in the first place. You know, at times, depending on your situation, you know, you want to be like, who did this, who did that? But at the same time, you know, you just want peace. And, you know, I'm not going to lie and just say, you know, I had a little piece of hope just out of nowhere, you know, because that's not really where I was at. I needed, you know, somebody help me through that. And that's what I think is also important, to always have somebody next to you that you can depend on. I'm really big on that. And that in this situation, you know, it was my girlfriend. She helped me through everything. Even though we both, you know, me and my girlfriend at times also had our problems, which we got through, she was still my #1 supporter. Football has definitely helped me learn how to control my emotions, catching attitudes with my teachers and stuff like that. You know, it never did any good for me. So definitely learning how to do that and playing sports definitely helped me a lot. It also kept me busy. I noticed that the more that I'm playing on the streets, the more the bad happens, and the more scarier it is, especially in the area that I live. If you're not into, you know, gangbanging or anything like that, which a lot of people aren't, stay out the streets. Keep yourself busy with something, or else, you know, again, you end up with the wrong people or in a situation you don't want to be in. You know, with culture, again, you know, that's my and I'll say this with passion. Everybody from the UGM or culture is my family. This is, you know, this is my second home. You know, they gave me a place to eat before I went home. This community has a very positive energy to it. You know, I don't know one time that this community has ever been bad in any sort of way. They've definitely helped me out through some stuff. There's times where I didn't really like believe in God, you know. I questioned him a lot, like, is he really real and stuff like that. But Culture and Mike and, you know, Siobhan, they've all definitely helped me through a lot.
You know, when I had the honor of sitting down with Che for that interview, you know, I was struck by a couple things. I was struck by his self-awareness and his authenticity. I'm going to get choked up a little thinking about it. But the other thing that I was struck by is how his story and the way that Cultured has been a part of his story connects with all these other things. Did you notice that? There was a reference to his connection with UGM, our you know, longtime ministry partners, the Union Gospel Mission. There was a connection to him playing sports, you know, football and basketball. There was even a connection to his relationship with his girlfriend and how that helped him through things. And that's all part of his story, and so it's all part of the story that we're breathing life into. You know, that with the work that we do at each of our ministry sites, we don't see ourselves as some kind of separate satellite that has this direct effect on some student's life that's totally disconnected from every other part of their life. The work that we do is integrated with every other part of their life. And so if they're playing sports, that's also a part of how we're coming in to minister to their lives. And if they're connecting with other community organizations, we love that because we know that the work that we do is not limited to just our organization. And even if they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, we're trying to breathe life into those sorts of relationships as much as we can as well. And so I love that Che's video, you know, captured those things. We didn't ask Che to share just because, you know, Che has had a lot of suffering in his life, and he has. You know, I was struck by that he has probably experienced more suffering than I have in my life. But we asked Che to share because suffering has not defined his life. That Che has overcome that suffering, or is continuing in his journey of overcoming that suffering, and that kind of leads to the second act of our evening, because we know, as Scripture tells us, that suffering produces perseverance.
Perseverance. Yes, I'm content with what suffering has produced. And that's perseverance. You see, perseverance must finish its work, working until completion. But what does perseverance look like? Perhaps that's where the problem is. Perseverance isn't a look. It's a process. A process by which perseverance doesn't show until it is complete. I cannot tell you what perseverance looks like, but I can for sure tell you what it is. You see, perseverance is that student who wakes up every morning to get themselves and their siblings ready for school, preparing whatever they can find in the cupboards to sustain them as they put on shoes and backpacks. Then walking the little ones to school only to show up tardy to their own classes. Perseverance is that same student choosing to bypass any extracurricular activity and desires to hang with friends because perseverance is being consistent with the kids so mama can keep a job. Perseverance is that same mom knowing the burden her child is carrying but can't change or do anything about it because she has her own work to finish. Oh yeah, and work is never done. It's never over. And it's never satisfied. There's always work, and perseverance knows this. That's why it stands along the sideline screaming, don't give up, but get up. Yes, get up every morning while mourning. I can hear perseverance saying, trust me, your joy comes in the morning, in the morning. I can hear perseverance saying, finish this work, that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Yeah, you see, perseverance is a coach on the sidelines yelling, get up, and jog it off whenever hit you that tackle you with life. You see, perseverance has one job, and by any means necessary, coach will get the job done. Yes, coach must and will finish this work of art, if you let it develop you.
Sorry, Mike and I are different heights. Good evening, my name is John Reed. I am the Executive Director of Seattle Area YFC. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. I just have to say, you guys look beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful and handsome men. And I want to thank the Hyatt for tailor dressing my suit out of the same material as your tablecloths. So thank you, Hyatt, for matching my suit. I'm honored to be here with you guys tonight. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart just for showing up and supporting. Before I joined Seattle YFC, and this is a crazy story because when I heard Chay's story, my heart just dropped. You see, I started at Seattle Union Gospel Mission Youth Services, and I was there for 20 years, and I served in the youth department in the South Seattle area and other areas, and so to hear Chay talk about Seattle Union Gospel Mission, and just this year I took the call to serve as the executive director, and when they came calling, I just felt like this was home. And so I just want to just give Chay a hand for sharing his story. Now, the last 10 years of Seattle Union Gospel Mission, we had been partnering with YFC, and that's how we all kind of just already knew each other. And so it's been a great partnership. We did it because we knew there was more kids in South Seattle that needed to be reached, and we needed help. So we partnered to maximize our reach. During that time, I've seen many examples of suffering in the communities that we served. Suffering like the story you heard in Chay's story. I myself have experienced suffering because I grew up in the neighborhoods, the same type of neighborhoods that we serve, and so have some of our staff. And so it's near and dear to our hearts. What I've learned in 20 years in youth ministry is that our work begins in a place of suffering, even in a place of heartache. But it doesn't stop there. It perseveres. Scripture tells us suffering leads to perseverance, and that has been proven time and time again here at Seattle YFC. Seattle Youth for Christ have been here since 1954, Christina Reed. As many times as I've been practicing this speech with you. And we didn't win the trivia. But since 1954, I'm not mad. So since 1954, that's about almost 70 years. That doesn't happen without incredible perseverance and without pushing past adversity. One of the reasons why we're gathered here tonight is out of perseverance, because we want to keep doing this ministry for 70 more years, amen? And doing that requires dedication from a lot of people. The support you give tonight will help us to keep on persevering. The support you give tonight will help us to endure in South Seattle with our culture ministry that provides a dance studio and a music studio to help youth cultivate their creativity. Tonight you'll see an example of that with our dance group of young ladies who have persevered through some adversity and found a creative way to express their faith. Your contribution tonight is going to help us in our Bellevue site to continue to provide communities that embrace our youth and are loving and caring, and that will help it walk through life with youth and help them persevere through the tough times in their lives. The support you give tonight will help us continue our mission over in Monroe to provide adult supervision or adult mentorships, and these folks are deeply invested in the youth in Monroe. And lastly, the support you give tonight, the contribution that you give, will help us over at Everett, at Casino Road. We have a new drop-in center that provides a safe haven for youth so that they can navigate through a tough neighborhood and have a safe place to be in. You see, perseverance is contagious. The ministry going on at each of these sites is a ministry of perseverance. It's staff members working hard to find creative ways to stay connected with youth and sharing the message of hope during the pandemic. It's students persevering through times of loneliness and isolation when the only way they can stay connected to their friends and families or even have education is through a computer screen. It's perseverance of parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, volunteers, community partners, prayer warriors, and church partners who all have had to face challenges that they weren't prepared for as well. We continue to do this ministry we do because day after day, all kinds of people say, I'm going to keep on trying. I'm going to keep on going on. We are here today because of perseverance of our many giving partners, men and women in this room, those of you who are joining us online, who have persistently leaned in generously and by sharing the resources that they have been blessed with. You see, our story of perseverance is just not our story. It's your story as well. So on behalf of Seattle Area Youth for Christ, I want to say thank you for your support in communities that we serve that are suffering, as well as partnering with us to help youth persevere. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, John. Thank you. And we do want to keep remembering that this is not just a gathering in this room, but this is a gathering with our online friends and family as well. And so we want to extend another welcome to you for joining us in this event, an evening of hope, as we continue to reflect on the goodness of hope. And if you have joined us online and you are, inspired to kind of join in the mission as John just described, and you're wanting to know some ways to give, we'll just throw a slide up there for those that are joining online to show us show you some of the ways that you can give to YFC. And so we'll leave that up there for a moment, just for the online viewers to make note of if you're inspired to want to contribute to the mission of YFC. I just want to shout out John, our new boss and our brother and our friend. And, he talked about perseverance, and he talked about it at an organizational level. But we as the staff have also watched John exhibit personal perseverance through some other things. And what has struck me about it is that perseverance leads to character, but it also comes from character, right? And so, John, we appreciate you, appreciate your character, and that leads us now to the next movement in our program. For we know, as Scripture tells us that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character.
Character. This hat is character. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, sorry. Stay on script. Stay on script. Okay. Sorry. Yes, the coaching must finish its work to develop you like a character. I know a lot of characters, and some of my favorite characters I would watch every Saturday morning while eating a big, gigantic bowl of cereal. Yeah, these characters were colorful and very entertaining. From a rabbit running and ducking shotgun rounds to someone getting a big pound of big metal thing dropped on their head, these characters consistently lit up my mornings. Yes, and consistent they were, never changing up on me, remaining the same, always acting within the lines they were created in and never outside of them. And after a while, their acts and actions would become some of the very things that I, in my 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old mind, would use to define them in their distinctive nature, coloring them in the makeup of that character, not by judgment, but by consistency. You see, consistency is the paintbrush used to draw and color in the morals, artists, and development of these characters. You see, yes, the only tool that, when in the hands of an artist like perseverance, then and only then can a character be complete. As I stated before, I know a lot of characters, and some of them are in this room right now. You have heard the stories of some, and the only reason why those stories are here today to light up our mornings is because of their consistency. Every day, day by day, becoming and developing the character it takes to be who God has designed them to be. You see, it takes a strong character to be colorful individuals we see and have the privilege to serve in our communities. It takes strong character to be consistent and show up every day when I don't agree with the script written for my life. It takes very strong character to remain faithful to what I am created to do. And it takes strong character and courageous character to look back at all of those who were colored on pages before me and say, thank you. Thank you for being consistent in the midst of suffering, persevering that my character may live. And now, as we are surrounded by such a huge cloud of characters, who are here to witness me as I light up their morning, I keep my fearfully and wonderfully crafted eyes fixed on what is set before me. Hope.
Hi, you guys. Many of you know me, and it's so great to see so many of you familiar faces, and then there's a lot of people who don't know me. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Minta Busey, and I have been the ministry director here in the Seattle area Youth for Christ for going on 15 plus years now, so a while. Yeah. It's produced a lot of characters. I've been meeting a lot of characters. And I also co-direct our internship program with Mike Davis, which is awesome. And I'm so excited because this year, the majority of our interns with our program are former students who are now leading and running and on payroll with us to work and help run our programs and lead in their own communities, which is powerful. And in addition to that, I also am the City Life director on Casino Road in Everett and have been for several years now. And I have the distinct honor of leading alongside with our interns, volunteers, student leaders to lead in this community. And it's a beautiful community. I'm so honored to be there. So for the last 15 years, have been full of joys and heartaches, a master class, if you will, for me in what it truly means to love and serve those in the communities we are called to, as well as what it means to walk through life with people from very unique and different backgrounds than my own. When I started on staff, I knew I was called to love and serve. That was clear in Scripture. But what I didn't know, and what has been one of the greatest gifts of my life over the last 15 plus years, was that I, in return, would receive so much education, so much love, so much rich culture. I've been able to walk with students and their families in the communities. Some are immigrant families, some have been homeless youth. Many have been from so many different backgrounds and cultures. Young people who've had the courage to face their mental health struggles that they've been dealt and didn't choose, as well as young people and young adults who have faced a tremendous amount of abuse throughout their lives and still have the courage to move forward and pursue God. This has been a tremendous honor for me, and it's not something I take lightly in my life, and they have been my greatest educators, and it's very humbling. Tonight, I get the tremendous privilege to introduce you to someone very special to me. I first met Alara when she was in 8th grade and she started coming to City Life on Casino Road. Little did I know that a few years later I would host her 16th birthday party at my house. And then 2 weeks after that, she would move in with me and live with me for a year and a half. Alara is an incredible human being who truly exemplifies what it means to persevere and have character and hang on to hope. I cherish every conversation we've had over the years, every random text that she's ever sent me, and there have been many, and they're funny and really amazing. And consider it a huge honor to be in her life and cheer her on as she pursues her dreams and goals. She'll tell you a little bit of her story now in the video, so please join me in watching her story in the video. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alara Vargas. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I have been with YFC for a few years now. I started out as a student at the Casino Road site doing with City Life since I was in 8th grade, all the way up until graduation. And then I came over here to the Cultured site here in South Seattle, and I became an intern, and I've been an intern for the last year, going on 2 years. So in my life, I've had a few different experiences with suffering. For example, I grew up as a first-generation American. My mother and my father are both immigrants from the Dominican Republic. We went through a lot of challenges living here. My family experienced homelessness for a few years when I was between the grades of 4th grade all the way up until my 8th grade year. We were homeless, and we lived in different hotels, and we rented rooms and stuff, and we experienced a lot during that time, a lot of loneliness and just a lot of distrust in many things. Growing up, my mom and my dad were also really addicted to drugs, and my mom also struggles with mental illness. So it was a lot of absent parents, and just really I was my own parent in a time when I should have had someone to look over me. Yeah, so there was definitely a lot of times where I felt like there was a lot to carry. For example, when I was 16, I actually became emancipated, and I separated from my home just because it felt like it was too much to live there and try to succeed in life. So I tried to make it out on my own, and I learned really fast that being 16, working full-time, and being in college, because I did Running Start full-time, was something that was just too much for me. And I went through a period of just feeling like all of this weight was too much. And I remember there was a period of 3 months where I would wake up every day and I would go to sleep every day, and I just wanted to kill myself and end it all. And it was just such a really dark time for me, and I really just found my relationship with Christ through that. Because I remember there would be nights where I would just be crying, and I'd be in the morning, I just don't want to be alive anymore, this is too much. I was in a really dark place, and I remember I would just feel the presence of God in those times when I would be crying, and I would just feel him telling me to encourage me and telling me you got this, it's okay, it's gonna be better soon. But I just felt so hopeless in that moment. But just feeling his presence in that time, even when I was rejecting him, just was a lot for me, and it was what really made my relationship with God what it is today. I would say that my strength to keep persevering comes from the community that I have around me. I have many leaders that encourage me and check in on me and just are there for me through it all, really, and just kind of give me advice and love me even when I'm probably doing things that make them upset. I would say that my character has become a lot more resilient, And not only that, but I would say just a lot more aware of what other people are going through, and just knowing that, out on the surface, kid can seem like everything's okay and they're doing fine and their grades can be great, but beneath that, they could be going through so much that you don't even know. So I feel like it's helped me just to empathize more with other people. I would say that someone that has really inspired me would be one of my leaders here, Minta. She's actually the director at the Casino Road site. And she has been really helpful. Actually, when I first moved out of my house, she was the one to open her doors to me and to help me stabilize myself before going out on my own. And she just shows so much love, and that's just something that I really want to reflect and just love on other people, and just showing who God is through relationship is really the thing that I've gotten the most out of her. I would say the word hope to me means having faith in God's grace over you, and just trusting in the fact that He has a plan for you, and that, at the end of the day, you didn't go through so much and overcome so much just to be nothing, or just to come out to nothing. So, there's just hope at the end of the tunnel, I guess. Yeah, I would say there's quite a few things that I'm hopeful for. Like, I will be graduating with my bachelor's degree in June of 2022, and I'm really hopeful to be able to continue my education and to go on into getting a PhD in my field. Right now, with COVID and everything, it's something that's really nerve-wracking to apply to these programs when there's so many people applying that could be more qualified than you, but it's just having that hope that, at the end of the day, it'll all work out. The internship experience has been really interesting to me. When I was a student at City Life Casino Road, I did a lot of student leadership stuff, so it was pretty similar to what I did my first year as an intern. But one of the key differences is just feeling that responsibility of connecting with the students, and also just being able to really see behind the scenes how it all impacts the students, especially coming from a different site. It really gives you a perspective, just because I can see how things were run at the Casino Road site, and just how much of a difference it meant to have a community around the Casino Road site that supported them, and volunteers, and just amazing interns all around, and how much it impacted me as a student. And to come here where we don't have as many volunteers and we're still a smaller site, it's just shows how important it is for that relationship to be there with the students, because really at the end of the day, all they have is that relationship. I guess one thing that I would want to say to people who are thinking of supporting what we do here at Youth for Christ is that it really does matter, and that this is actually a really big issue beyond just, what we do in these communities. A lot of these children have gone through so many things. Like, one of the main things that I study is adverse childhood experiences, and many of these students hit the checkbox on that list. If you've never heard of it, I encourage you to go and search that up when you get home, because it's a list of things that children go through on a day-to-day basis that can really affect them and their mental health and their physical health. And one of the things that the CDC and many other organizations have said that can help children who have gone through a lot of adverse childhood experience is to have a community of people who care for them, and mentors and advocates that are there for them, because a lot of the time they just don't have, their parents just don't have the capacity or the availability to be there for their kids in the way that they need. And that's where we step in, and we just kind of bridge that gap. I would love to say thank you to everyone who has supported us thus far, just because you really don't know the impact that you've had on someone's life. And maybe those students don't see you as your donor, doesn't specifically see that it was you that led them to be able to have the experiences that they did. So I'll say thank you, because even if they don't know it, I can see what we're able to do with the funds that we're granted.
Well, Alara is here tonight, and Alara, thank you for sharing your story with us. We are inspired by you, Alara, so thank you for that. I do want to, before we move into our final movement, I just wanted to say thank you to a couple other people who had a key hand in putting tonight together. First of all, this room looks really amazing, and it's not because of anything I did, but it's because of Katie Cole, our wonderful administrator, who we start talking about centerpieces, and I'm just kind of like, I don't even know where to start. So Katie's amazing. The videos tonight were put together by our videographer Matthew, who has been an unbelievable friend to YFC and partnering with us in all kinds of different projects, many of which he's refused payment for, others of which he's begrudgingly accepted a minimal payment for. And Matthew, we're just so grateful for your partnership with us. And also to pull this off, to do this hybrid event where we're in one place and we're streaming to another event, and we've got cameras and we've got TVs set up in here and everything like that. That requires professional help, and Seattle Audiovisual Services and Doug Kennelly have been awesome to work with. They are doing this work at a tremendous discount to us. And their team, they showed up here at noon, and they've been working their tails off the entire day. And so I just wanted to shout them out. Thank you, Doug. When I first talked to Doug on the phone about kind of trying to put this event together, and I said, like, do you have the capabilities of doing this? And he just kind of chuckled, like, yeah, I think we can. Like, Doug's been doing this for over 30 years, and if you are needing to put together some sort of similar event, I'll be sure to get you connected with him because he's been a great resource for us. So thank you, Doug. We are ready now to kind of move into our final act of the night, our movement of hope. And I just want to prepare you a little bit volume-wise because there were some negotiations and I lost. Let's just put it that way. So I'm actually glad I did because I want you guys to have your hearts overflow with the hopefulness that our culture dance team will present to us. But first, Mike Davis is going to provide a final word to us, for we know that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character, and character produces hope.
Yeah, hope. It's my favorite. I love hope. And what is set before me is hope. And hope does not disappoint. That's why I love it so much. It's always there, even when deferred. Like a gentleman who is willing to lay his coat down, except hope is both the gentleman and the coat. Always ready, always willing. Hope gives all and receives nothing, and never asks for anything except to be led to the place where you lost it. I'm going to say that again. Hope doesn't ask for anything except to be led to the place where you lost it. Yeah, this is hope. Can I tell you something else about hope? Yes, hope is the very presence of those that shouldn't be here, but they're here standing, yes, standing still. Hope has a name. Hope's name is Luke. Hope's name is Che. Hope's name is Alera. Hope's name is Consuelo. Hope's name is Alondra. Hope's name is Lejea. Still standing, like steel. Hope is a thief that takes from and goes disappointment. Stainless steel stands. We are hope. Who dares to compete with hope? The only contender that will fight and bleed and cry and suffer and persevere and be broken only to be poured out till there's absolutely nothing left. To the last breath. But even after death, hope restores. Yeah, even after death, hope restores. Yeah, even after the hope has died, my hope has died with me. It is hope that I give that continues to live through those my hope extended itself to. You see, when hope gives hope, it allows for hope to live beyond us, empowered by faith, allows for others to walk through the door of expectation, experiencing the reality of the thing once hoped for. Did you catch that? Faith cries out to hope in the night, pleading, bring forth this substance. Allow for it to be, for my child believed in me enough to hope for it. They have suffered long enough. Now, knowing that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. Now, hope does not disappoint. Yeah, Hope does not disappoint. I tell you, hope does not disappoint. It is the hope that we have for right now. Now hope does not disappoint. Now hope does not disappoint. It is the now hope that will carry us through. Not yesterday's hope, not even hope for tomorrow, but now's hope. Now hope is ready to come through and defend, and there is only one hope that is worthy enough to contend with all the doubt, all the fear, and all the hopelessness. And his name is Christ. Christ in us, the hope of glory.
Everybody in the building, everybody got a hand in the air. Everybody in the building, everybody got a hand in the air. Everybody in the building, everybody got a hand in the air. Everybody in the building, everybody got a We all want it, yeah. We all need it. We all want it, yeah. We all need it. We all want it, yeah. We all need it. We all want it, yeah. We all, let's go. We all gon' feel the cares of this life, but we got that hope. We all gon' feel the pressure, but know that we got that hope. In case you feel defeated, in Jesus we got that hope. In Jesus we got that hope. In Jesus we got that hope.
Can y'all say hope? We are cultured. Yes, we are cultured. And I want to talk about hope. Say hope. That wasn't loud enough. Y'all gotta be louder than that for me. Say hope. Yes. Before here, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my story. Sometimes we talk about the student story, but I tell you about who I am and where I came from. I was raised in a church home, church every day, Sunday to Saturday. We had church. It didn't matter. And that was a great experience. Some people would be like, oh, I wouldn't want to go to church, but that was where I had my friends. I had everybody there. It was great. But the experience was more that I just wanted to praise God, and I did it because I saw somebody else do it, but I didn't understand who he was. But there were times that he would show up, Jesus. There were times where I see him and I'd be like, oh, that's him right there, okay. And I would want that, I would strive for that, but I was still doing the motions, going through the time, just doing whatever everyone else was doing, raising my hand, singing as loud as I can, worshiping God. But then I got to know him around 2021. I was like, I'm about to be serious. I met him in a place where I felt I was hopeless, where I felt that I couldn't keep doing the same thing, being in church over here, and then doing whatever I want and living my own life over there. And so that time began to be real to me, and I was like, I'm about to live for God. So I lived for God, and everything started to be perfect. And then 7 years later, it went back down. I felt hopeless. I felt like, why am I doing this? I have home groups. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but I'm getting hurt. I'm getting abused. Everything is not working out. Why me? That time was terrible. Sleeping at night in the dark, thinking of different things of why I'm here, but I still didn't understand why. Because I'm a Christian. I was doing everything I was supposed to do, but I was getting hurt. And then that time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do it all by myself. So I started putting hope in things. I started putting hope in people. I started putting hope in things. And that stuff ended up sometimes being okay, but sometimes not, because I was putting my hope in the wrong thing. But when I understand that hope doesn't disappoint because Christ doesn't disappoint, I became real to myself and I began to surrender my life to God, but still was in a dark place, lost my job. Mike called me randomly. Hey, do you want to do something you love and get paid for it? I said, what? that's real? Because he knew I did school assemblies. I did all things like for free all the time. And so I was like, all right, whatever. I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, whatever. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri at the time. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, and lost my job for something very minor that I was actually great at the job. And they were like, we need you to come downstairs because you missed the compliance thing at the U.S. Bank and you didn't do this. And I'm like, what? Like, y'all didn't even warn me? Y'all just gonna fire me? Okay, that's great. All right, whatever. I was crying to my mama, oh my gosh, wait, I lost my job. I'm having a terrible time. My life is destroyed. I thought I was great, but it was crazy. And then I remembered, Mike said, what if I could do something and get paid for it that I've been doing for a long time? So I called him and I was like, yo, what was you talking about? He said, come to Seattle, try out for this thing, and it's gonna be great. And not try out, I'm so used to saying try out. Get an interview for this job, and it's called Youth for Christ. That was hope. I was thinking about going to Florida to find hope with my sister, which would have been good. She had everything. She had a house. She had all these different things. And I was going to start life over. But God called me way on the other side and to actually find hope. As soon as I came to the doors, I started working. We went straight to Denver. They offered counseling. And then the counselor told me, use your gift to get hope. Use your gift to find God. And I was like, I used to do it all the time, but I don't understand. She said, go through it. What happened to you? You was abused, go through it. Go through the motion. This is at Youth for Christ conference. We were supposed to be talking about the 1, 2, and 3 of Youth for Christ, but I'm talking about 1, 2, and 3 inside of here. And so everything happened. So then I was like living with somebody. At first I didn't have nothing. I took all whatever I had and came here, and I had $10 in my bank account. And the people that I was staying with, they were like, we want to change up some things. We don't want you to stay here right now because we want to fix our downstairs. And I'm like, but what you talking about? I thought I had a year. And so that time, I felt hopeless. I was like, okay, God, you said I'm supposed to be here. I got this $10. This place is expensive. I don't know what I'm going to do. What you going to do? Because I don't know what I'm going to do. So I went to a whole bunch of different places. They said, nah, I can't. You ain't going to make it. I literally just went to the place like 2 blocks away from my house, at the house that I was staying with. And the lady looked at me, and she was like, so what do you want to do? I said, can I get in here? She was like, okay, you need $300 down payment, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay. I literally opened a check the night before. It said $300. $300. So that was my down payment. So I called my mama and said, Mama, I know I don't like to use y'all, but I want you to do this, blah, 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 blah. So I was able to get that money, go for there. Somebody was walking in front of me. She said, whoever comes in with that first deposit will get the apartments. It was low-income apartments at the time. So I was like, okay. So I walked in. It was somebody in front of me, and she was like, the lady was like, ma'am, I want to get a house. She said, no, the person behind you got the house. I said, ha! If you in Church of God in Christ, you're going to start shouting, okay? Yes, so that was a form of hope in Seattle. And then I began to get with the kids, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is what I'm used to, like this is my life. I'm still been able to find hope in God so that I could understand who he is and what he is to me. And this is how they have found hope. 1, 2, 3.
Hope! God saved me from my depression. Hope! God gave me abundance, joy, and love. Hope! God saved me from my hopelessness. Hope! God saved me from my loneliness. Hope! God met me at my lowest. Hope!
Yeah, holla man, wait for it. I remember all night I used to pray for it. Me and Dave was on the grind like a skateboard. I look up to the sky any day, Lord. We ain't even know we was headed straight for it. Hold up, got a message kinda rando. This one for the people from the birds to the bando. Ain't no problem big enough that God couldn't handle. Came through, can't lose, fully loaded with the ammo. So don't worry about it. See a hater do the swerve, know you heard about it. We been putting in this work. When you talk this big and your wins this big, everybody about to know about it. So don't worry about it. See a hater do the swerve, know you heard about it. We been putting in this work. When you talk this big and your wins this big, everybody about to know about it. Everybody about to know. We was about that action, but we glad we let it go. He took me my highest when I kept my spirit low. They know we don't even care
I got to tell you, I went to watch a cultured practice once, or a dance team practice, and you two would probably agree with me. Miss Chiffon doesn't let you get off easy, right?
No, not at all.
These girls work so hard to put together something like that, and you guys put together this routine in what, like 2 weeks or something?
Correct.
Yeah, amazing. So, real quick, we're wrapping things up, but I wanted to bring you two up here just to kind of hear a little bit about your experience with the dance team. Can you both first just introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been a part of the dance team?
Okay, my name is Kamarion Kilgore. I've been a part of this dance team for, I want to say 4 years.
Hi, my name is Imani Robinson, and I've been a part of the culture dance team for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
Well, we're so delighted to have you guys share. We're so delighted to see the dance team in action. Just so we could kind of put some context around it. You know, we're talking about hope, right? We're talking. That's kind of the theme that we're ending on. The past year or so, it's been difficult for all of us in all kinds of different ways. What have been the things that have made you maybe lose hope the most over the last year or so?
For me, losing hope, depression, losing people in my family.
For me, it has been losing a lot of people and just loneliness. It eats away at you. So.
Yeah. And so as you girls reflect on your time as part of Cultured and as part of the dance team and the involvement that's been for you, how has that been a source of hope for you?
Cultured, the dance team, gave me a place to express myself when I wasn't feeling there. It gave me a place to go where if I didn't want to go home to just be depressed, I can go there, dance, let out all my negative energy.
As she was saying, it's just a place where you can really grow and be yourself and find family and comfort in ways and places where you couldn't. And these girls have given me a lot of hope and given me a lot of just, I guess, the feeling of being able to persevere, because without them, I wouldn't be able to stay in here. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really thankful for them.
Yeah. Well, we're thankful for you two. We're thankful for your whole dance team. So can we give it up for Imani and Kamarion one more time? You guys can have a seat.
Thank you for coming out and supporting.
You can just put it right in there. So as we kind of wrap things up, I just kind of want to put this picture together. We have had this journey tonight from suffering into perseverance, and from perseverance to character, and from character to hope. And I'm guessing that in some ways, all of you can kind of stitch that story together yourself. All of you have some collection of experiences that you can look back on and say, yes, I remember that time where I was encouraged to persevere. I remember how that built up character. I remember how that led me to a place of hope. And to crystallize it, that is what we are passionately committed to trying to do as part of Youth for Christ. And that is what we wanted to share with you above anything else. To share with you, for one, to say thank you. So many of you in this room have persevered with Youth for Christ through difficult times. We didn't know how we were going to continue to navigate the virtual world from a ministry perspective. We had an executive director transition right in the middle of that. It was a really kind of challenging time for Youth for Christ, and people in this room have rallied around YFC in a really meaningful way, and so we're so appreciative of that, and wanted to share this night as a way of illustrating some of that appreciation. And then we also wanted to share this night simply as an invitation to continue to lean into that support of YFC. And so I believe Kelsey's passed around kind of the pledge cards. This is not a pressure-filled thing. We're not going to bar you from the elevator if you don't fill out a card. But we really want to encourage you all to prayerfully consider making a contribution, whether it's a one-time contribution, whether it's becoming one of our monthly partners. However you're led tonight, we do just encourage you and encourage those of you who are online as well to prayerfully consider pledging your support in some way tonight. We have staff outside that can swipe credit cards, and we've got 4 of them, so we can do that fairly quickly. If you're wanting to make some sort of donation tonight, we can put on the slide as well. Thank you, Logan. So there are some other ways to give if you want to do it directly from where you're sitting and you don't want to have to stand in line. You can always log on and do it on your phone or something like that. You're welcome to mail a check if that's preferable. Or if it's past your bedtime and you're really just kind of wanting to get out of here, but you're like, but I do want to give something, you can fill out that pledge card and you can give it to your table captain, the staff member or the board member who's at your table, or you can leave it with me if they've left your table for some reason. You can always kind of leave that with us, and we'd be happy to follow up with you at a time that's more convenient. We so honor and appreciate each of you, both online and in person, who have taken time out of your busy weeks to block out some space and to be a part of what we're doing. And so thank you so much. Thank you for joining us in this evening. Thank you for being a part of the story of hope that's being written with Seattle Youth for Christ. And God bless you, and thank you all. Thank you all.
No problem big enough that God couldn't handle. Came through, can't lose, fully loaded with the ammo. So don't worry about it. See a hater do the swear, know you heard about it. We've been putting in this work. When you talk this big and your wins this big, everybody about to know about it. So don't worry about it. See a hater do the swerve, know you heard about it. We've been putting in this work. When you talk this big and your wins this big, everybody about to know about it. Everybody about to know. We was about that action, but we glad we let it go. He took me my highest when I kept my spirit low. They know we don't even care about who though. I listen to God, now we getting flued out. I'm so glad I waited. Going super saiyan in this plan, saw me lady. Look fear in the face, say the top is for the taking. If the dude don't fast, don't pray, we ain't dating. Went from nothing into something, won't he do that? Now we living in the passion like a do-rag. Went from angelic to angelic. Look at how we develop. Pressure, love, and one day you're holy girl. Yeah, hold a man, wait for it. I remember all night I used to pray for it. Me and P was on the ground like a skateboard. I look up to the sky any day, Lord. We ain't even know we was headed straight for it. Hold up, got a message kinda random. This one for the people from the birds to the bandos. Ain't a problem big enough that God couldn't handle. Came through, can't lose. Funny loaded with the ammo. So don't worry about it. See a hater do the swear, know you heard about it. We been putting in this work. When you talk this big and your wins this big, everybody about to know about it. So don't worry about it. See a hater do the swear.
Just wanted to make a quick announcement. We're having a little bit of a issue with the hotel Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth and getting our card readers synced up with the phones. That's proving to be a little more challenging than intended. If it's easier, it may be easier if you wanted to make a donation via credit card and you want to make it on your own phone, if you can get it to go through. That actually saves us a little money because then we don't have to pay the Square reader people to process it for us. So if that makes it easier for you, just wanted to let you know that might be a preferable way of making a contribution. So thank you all. I just want to encourage everyone to get their parking validated at the registration table on their way out. We will be happy to pay for your parking.